Welcome to another episode of the Lightspeed Investing Podcast. I've got Tom here. He is a retired civil engineer that's going to share with us his journey of trading commodities and what he's currently doing now with this style of investing. Tom, so glad to have you here, man. How are you doing?
Doing great today. Thank you. Matter of
Thank
fact,
you.
I'm
So,
trading right now.
Yeah, of course, of course. So, super excited for you to share, your journey with the audience. So, Tom, how did you first and foremost get into this space?
Well, it happened to be because I have my partner, who's we end up forming an LLC. He was introduced to the materials. He had a video for me to watch. I told him he didn't know if he had the time because he's such a busy and dynamic guy.
Mhm.
And I said, look, I'm looking at retiring. I don't want to be bored. I want to keep my mind active, and I'd like to keep making money. So I said, I'll do it. And we formed a partnership, and I've been learning how to trade this style ever since. And it's only been the last couple of months.
That's right. But you also traded commodities back when it was electronics, right? So how does that differ?
Well, I'm kind of an old fart because when I traded commodities, it was back in '95, and I had to pick up the phone and call a broker to place a trade. And so this is much more fun, being able to have instantaneous results and have control rather than have to rely on a telephone and a broker on the other end. But I did trade commodities for a while. I also traded stocks, similar penny stocks, as well as long-term stocks. But again, the technology, the way it's evolved, has made it more interesting and a lot more fun.
And for you, what do you plan on doing with it in terms of incorporating it with your lifestyle, with your future? What are your goals with this?
Well, for me, it's given me the opportunity to really retire. After our consulting business and construction back in 2010, that market just crushed our business.
Mm-hmm.
I got into real estate for the last 13 years. My wife is still in real estate, but I'm out of it now. This has allowed me a chance to really retire. I still dabble with surveying and some things for some friends and on projects, but this is what I plan on doing long term. I don't see why I can't do this the rest of my life. And I'd like having something to supplement my income in my retirement. And it opens doors for me to do things that I would not have been able to do if I didn't have other types of income coming in. I wasn't able to rebuild a retirement that I could say, I'm just going to go off the Belize and have some drinks on the beach. It's not going to happen. Now I think it can happen. And so it brings that dream back into Marcia's life and mine. And it's so I have a real strong motivation to make this work.
That's awesome. And you are quite experienced in the different arrays of asset classes, right? You talked about trading stocks, you talked about being in real estate. So out of all these asset classes that you have been a part of, why is this one the one that has your attention the most?
Well, I think it's because of John Arnold's background that he's brought into the training material. It's true, it's tested, and I think it's something I've seen a lot of things over the years, but I haven't seen anything combined this way, where you can take different factors and different indicators and put them together in a combination that creates a language that can give you a pretty good indicator on what to anticipate happening next. In trading, it happens so fast. If you don't have something you can have confidence in, and that you really, I guess I used an analogy one of the time I'm talking to you, that my wife plays a piano and she reads sheet music, and I can't see how that sheet music is a language that talks to her, how music comes out. I believe charts, in my analogy, is very much the same thing. When you start trying to read music, you fumble around trying to play the scales. But when you really absorb it and have it where it's another language that's talking to you, you don't have to work at it. It just jumps out at you. That's the way the trainers that are working with me, that's the way they are. By being able to watch them live and trade alongside them, or being able to have a video of that afterwards to be able to go back and study. It's not something you just read a book. You have to make it come alive. And I guess that really is something that I enjoy. I guess it's not for everybody, but I don't see any reason why anybody that wouldn't want to make some extra money that have the ability to do this. Now, I'm using an automatic trader right now.
Right.
I trade manually, and I'm not going in live manually. I want to make sure I have the confidence to really turn on the dollars and do that myself.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, like right now, it's up $595.
Right.
It's 11:30 Pacific time. So I have until 1 o'clock until the market closes. And I monitor this while I'm learning to paper trade on my own. And sometimes I pay attention to how these trades are going to see how that works for me to trade myself. And at some point, I'll jump off the dock and jump in the boat, and I'm going to turn on to start trading live side by side with the bot.
I love it. I love it. And for those listening who may be new, right? I mean, this could sound like a totally new language, but in terms of the barrier to entry, Tom, you know, what is the amount that you need, minimally speaking, to start playing this game?
Really, I think you just need an open mind. There's a lot of FUD out there, people that go, oh, you're going to lose, or, you know, I find that people that don't really know what they're talking about have kind of a negative connotation to when they tell you about you tell them what you're doing, and they kind of pop your bubble, you know. I just think you need an open mind, and an open mind and a desire to learn. I don't see anything here that has any red flags. It's just time and patience. And if you don't put in the work, then you're not going to get the results out of it. I put maybe 3-4 hours into this every single day. On the weekends, I take the videos from the trainers, and I pick them apart. I stop. I have a stack of index cards here of all kinds of nuggets that come out of listening when I pause. And by writing them down and making flashcards, I'll be riding around with my wife, and I can take these and I'm in the car.
I love that, man.
It just deepens my absorption level. So I see things instantaneously. I don't have to think about what the name of a candle style is. I don't have to think about what a moving average that's an 8-minute moving average versus a 20, or what an algorithm number is. These things are all memorized now, and it makes the accuracy of my paper trading increase. And as that happens, I get closer to wanting to look for the day I go live my manual trading. Until then, this software is something that allows me to start making money right away and not wait until 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months until I feel confident to trade myself. In the meantime, I've been able to generate a few $100s a day, and it varies up and down. And it's something that you don't just turn it on and let it run. You've got to pay attention to it and watch it and make sure that you know what's going on.
So your time investment is about 3 to 4 hours a day. What about dollar sign investment? What was your starting amount, Tom?
I started out with $3,800.
38, right? So a little bit under $5,000.
I had more than that, but right. By the time you get done paying for Ninja Trader and getting into this, you know, getting hooked up, and then you have your bank accounts, but by the time you get everything set up, it is setting up a business. And if you don't treat it like a business, look out. You're going to have tax problems. You're going to have, you need to be able to, you know, have your expenses, and it's a business. And so we did set up an LLC with Lance and I, my partner. And so now that's set, it did drain a little bit of our nest egg to get started. But when you start with one contract, a contract in the Dow, which is what we're trading, is $500. The margin's $500. You have a little bit of cushion, and your risk is minimal, which makes it easy to get into. I mean, when I was trading, the margins were $5,000, not $500.
Right.
And so I couldn't believe
on other brokerages, it's like 12,000. You know, it's up there. Yeah,
there's still out there. You know.
Yeah, you don't know the right ones to go with, right? So the industry knowledge. Right. Yeah,
that's why I want to have you around so I can ask you those questions.
Sure thing. Thanks so much, Tom. Now, you know, with you trading this, investing 3 to 4 hours a day, right? Utilizing the software. How big do you want to go with it?
Well, I don't know that there's a limit. I guess as part of the fun, I guess. What's going to happen for me is that if I can make a few $100s a day on one contract, then at some point your confidence gets to where you want to scale. My goal is I want to start scaling. When I say scaling, what I mean is, how about I start going with 2 contracts? What happens if I go with 5 contracts? What happens if I go with 10 contracts? And when the confidence is there, you can take $200 and end up turning that into $2,000 with exactly the same style, same trades. And what happens, and this is what's fascinating, what happens is that you can have trends. You can have trends that are up, trends that are down. You can have consolidation, which moves sideways. And for me, I don't touch, when I see the patterns and I see the SMA line start going sideways, that's a different style of trading. I'm concentrating on trends up and trends down. They're more straightforward. There's indicators that you can track that give you that sign of when to get out and when to get back in. Also, it allows you to add contracts to an existing trade when you have the confidence, you know what direction it's going. Those are things that are, again, it's a language. You can see it happen right in front of you, and but you have to stay on top of it. My goal is, why not, see where it takes me.
That's right. And here's the thing, right? With the futures and commodity financial markets, it is one of the most lucrative asset classes out there due to its inherent risk and volatility. So for you, I'm kind of curious, you obviously traded commodities physically as well. What are your thoughts on the risk and volatility? Why does that not scare you?
I think it's because my fear used to be that I couldn't get a hold of my broker and have him answer the phone and get out of a trade or into a trade when I wanted to. I was also working off charts that were printed out charts. There was no computers that had charts on them back when I was trading. I think when you start having a degree of confidence of doing and seeing repeated patterns over and over again, and there are repeated patterns over and over again, you start knowing when there's a change and anticipate it ahead of time. Every once in a while, something wild will happen, but 90% of the time, things are pretty much following patterns, and you have to learn those and then track and stay on top of it. So I think that just lowers that level. One thing that I have learned the hard way is don't let a loss kill it. Get out of it fast.
Don't let it escalate. Don't let it escalate. That's right.
Get out. And that's your safety. That's your safety net. Get the heck out. Don't wait for something to turn around. Get out. Make another trade. It's another day. You're not a 100-yard dash here. This is a marathon. I plan on doing this for a long time.
And in terms of the accuracy with which our system trades, right, our principles of trading, what would you say, the percentage is on a daily basis?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. If you're talking about me, I have a long way to go. If it's with the people that I'm meeting that are training, God, it's like 98%. I mean, it's incredible. That's what I aspire to, is to be able to read this stuff to that accuracy level, because it really is impressive.
Yeah.
Because when you're watching someone on live right when the market opens, talking to you about what thinking, looking at where the market's going to go, what indicators are important, and you have your chart up right next to it, because I have 2 screens, so I can watch the live trading from the trainer. At the same time, I can have my chart up and trade next to it. That's where your confidence comes from, and also that's where you know when to bail and when to jump in.
So, from your own experience with this, who do you think this game is for, and who do you think maybe is not as suitable for?
Well, I think if I had my kids when they were younger, I'd get into them. I'd let them start looking at this stuff and get them interested in and get away from the Game Boy and learn how to play a real game. I'd get them going real young. I don't know why I can't do this as long as I stay healthy until forever. until I'm
Have
not
your
on the
kids
planet
start
anymore, and I'm
early.
out.
Have your kids start early and earn their own college tuition themselves,
I
right?
plan on being around a while, so I'm going to do it for quite a while. And it's when you're in a career or in a job and you're in a grind, and you have to be at a job at 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, that's probably the biggest barrier for somebody trying to get in to do something like this, because it's Monday through Friday, and it's when the market opens and the market closes. And trying to shift a lifestyle to be able to do that is probably the most important aspect, but it's also probably the biggest barrier for the average person if they have a job. And I'm fortunate enough that I've already been through multiple careers, and I'm out of real estate now, and I'm getting ready to get out of development work. We're developing building lots for people to build homes. I've already put my notice in. I plan on, and I gave warning, probably 4 months from now, this is the only thing I'll be doing full time. That's my goal.
I love it.
And I'm on track for it, and that's what I'm going to do.
So, Tom, first and foremost, thank you so much for being here and sharing your journey. A lot of wisdom, a lot of experiences to share. For those listening, and they might be on the fence, right? What would your parting wisdom and advice be?
Well, advice is to take baby steps. Don't jump in. Try and sign up and see if you can't get some videos and watch them. Find a mentor like yourself to talk to and get some questions answered and learn more about it. If there's anybody out there that you can refer them to that's doing this, to talk to them about what their experience is, do it. Be curious and dive in and get a little more information on it. It's not anything that should be intimidating. Actually, the most intimidating thing for me was the Ninja Trader website. It wasn't the charts.
Well, so Tom, one of the questions I always get is, or statements is, this sounds too good to be true, right? So, either you have skeptics or they say something like, if it sounds too good to be true, it must be a scam. So how would you address that?
Well, I always address the source. I always find that when I get advice like that, it's usually somebody that hasn't actually done this. Mm-hmm. It's from somewhere else. So that's number one. Number two, it's a lack of knowledge and education. It really is. There's the way this is set up and delivered. You could take a year to learn it, or you could try and take a month to learn it. You're on your own time frame. And if you get into it and like it, stick with it, and it'll take good care of you. I don't know why anybody would be on the fence about it without having something that, like right now, I'm running $595 today on my bot. It's trading right now live. I don't know why that would be intimidating. Just keep an eye on it and follow the rules.
Thank you so much, Tom. And I just want to correct one thing, right? You mentioned how you are an old fart. I highly would encourage to differ against that, because you are a spring chicken, in my opinion. How young are you turning this year, Tom?
74.
74, and you're still excited about this game, aren't you?
Oh man, this you know what? 4 months ago, well, I was looking at moving, totally retiring. Our kids have a cabin up in the mountains in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And Marcia and I were going to accept their offer, live in their cabin, and try and design something else to do. I'm sitting here today, and we thank them. We have a backup plan. We have a safety net. But where we live here, where our friends are, I got a nice lake and mountains outside here. And when we move out of here, we're going to move and stay here. And this has been what's allowed me to have optimism, to have dreams again. Really, I didn't see how we could afford to live with the Social Security, and so many of our investments got wiped out in the downturn. So it's been life-changing. I have optimism about the future again, and I can't wait to see where it takes me.
Those are powerful words, man, coming from a spring chicken turning 74 this year.
You're a young chicken then.
Yeah, really young, right? Really young. But no, Tom, really, appreciate the
Yeah.
time. I appreciate your attitude and optimism and your kind words. That's why we do this. And I look forward to checking in on you and your progress. And who knows, maybe we will do this again sometime.
Yeah. Well, I think I hope I have a different story next time.
Yes, correct. Yeah, looking forward to hearing how you have.
Because like I say, I'm just starting out. I've only been really actively trading with software 2 weeks, and I've only been doing this. I started in May.
That's right.
So May, June, July. I'm just 3 months.
Yep. But you're already seeing results with the software, right? In 2 weeks.
Time's flying. Time's flying.
Time's flying. Love it, Tom. Hey, happy to speak with you, and I look forward to being in touch.
Hey, thank you for the time, Philip. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yep, take care.